Hey, it's Paul Zweben from the Zweben team of Douglas Elliman. Happy day, whatever day you're watching this. I'm really excited that you're here. So I want to tell you how I started in this business and how I got here. In 1979, I lived in New Jersey with my mom, and I wanted to be a chef. And I remember going up to my 4'10" Jewish grandma and saying, "Grandma, I'm going to be a chef." And she looked at me, obviously she looked up at me, and she said, "You're an idiot. You should be a doctor or a lawyer." Those words that she sort of offended me with motivated me to be like, you know what, I'm going to be the best chef ever. So I went to the Culinary Institute of America, then I went to Florida International University. I worked as a baker's apprentice for 3 years. I worked at the Grand Bay Hotel in Coconut Grove, Florida. I worked at the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida. Came back to New York. In 1988, I worked at the River Cafe with David Burke, who is one of the best chefs in the United States, extremely whimsical. I became one of his sous chefs, ran the kitchen, and in 1991 I was like, you know what, chef, it's time for me to move on and get a chef job. So I got a job at a restaurant called Chelsea Central on 10th Avenue and 23rd Street, which later became Red Cat, which just closed and is now going to become Mermaid Inn. That's a whole nother story. And then subsequently I became a partner in a restaurant group, and we opened about 8 restaurants. BLT Steak in DC, BLT Prime, Calle Ocho, Union Pacific, Rain East, Rain West, Django, and Main Street. When I turned 42, I completely hit the wall, and I was like, you know what, to my wife, I cannot do this anymore. My wife had been a broker for about 7 years, and basically I said, look, honey, in 20 years I'm gonna be in my 60s, and if I'm still slinging hash, one night when we're up at our house up in the country, while I'm sleeping, go to Walmart, get a bat, and put me out of my misery. And she basically was like, look, Paul, you've been buying and selling real estate since you were in your 20s. You listen to every one of my deals. Why don't you become my partner? That was 13 years ago. Here I am. Every single day I wake up like I am going into Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and I am going to crush it. So let's talk about routines. This is my routine every single day, Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays are a little bit different because I don't take my kids to school. I wake up every single day at 4:45 a.m. At 5 a.m. I'm on a motivational call for 5 minutes. It's incredible. We can talk about that offline. At 5:30, I walk to the gym. I do a couple Instagram posts. From 5:30 to 6 o'clock, I'm at the gym. I say hello to everybody in the gym because there's super crazy A-type gym people that go every single day at 5:30 in the morning. From 6 p.m. to 6:05 or 6:07, I meditate. 6:07, I walk to Dunkin' Donuts. I get 2 cups of coffee, cream, no sugar, then walk the same way home. I say hello to every single doorman every day. I am the mayor of my neighborhood. At 6:24, I wake up my daughter for school. I go up and take a shower. Yes, that's too much information. Come back down. My wife's getting her ready. 7:25, we're in a taxi going across town. Drop her off at school. Tell her how much I'm proud of her. And then I stand outside of the school for about 10 minutes. Now, I'm also the mayor of that neighborhood, even though it's on the other side of town. Say hello to everyone, basically order a car, get in the car, and by 8:10 I'm in the office and I crush it for the rest of the day. That is a routine. It is extremely important. Don't say to yourself every night, oh, I wonder what time I'm gonna wake up. This is a dog-eat-dog business. If you are not on your game every single day, you'll be eaten up, chewed up, and spit out. So, 4 things we're going to talk about today. The New York City market, how to stay positive in a tough market, video marketing, and 20 ways to generate leads. Okay, are we ready? I believe we are. New York City market, right this second, we are in August 1st of 2019. It is a 1,000,000% buyer's market, okay? Can we catch a falling knife? No. I think we're almost at the bottom of the market. The market is adjusted anywhere from 7% to 15 to 20% in all different areas. If you're looking for new development, go in there and make an offer. I am telling you, the developers will make deals. If you're buying a resale, go in and lowball them a little bit. There are deals to be had. Unemployment is at the lowest rate it's been in forever. They just dropped the feds just dropped the mortgage rate, well, the interest rates again. You can buy with cheap money. It's a great time to buy if you're a buyer, and if you bought your apartment 15 or 20 years ago, sell and buy something else and have fun with it. How to stay positive in a tough market. I know that if I don't go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, I can turn into a nightmare. Everything can bother me. If I go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, or 5 times, or 6 times, or 7 times, and I meditate every day, nothing bothers me. So no matter what comes across from me, I am positive and I am happy. Meditation is really important. Podcasts. Let's say you wake up and you feel sorry for yourself. Find the guy on YouTube that has no arms and no legs, who's from, I think, New Zealand. Listen to a 10-minute YouTube product from him, and you'll be like, you know what? I have nothing to be ungrateful about. Nothing. Surround yourself with positive people. If you're in the elevator and you see an agent and you're like, hey man, how's the market? And they say, oh, it's horrible. Get out of that elevator. Only surround yourself with positive people. There are different calls in the East Coast and the West Coast that I can talk about, but there's a 5 a.m. East Coast call, which is basically about 1,400 entrepreneurs, mostly real estate agents. Everyone is on mute. Every morning at 5 a.m., one person speaks. It's like that caffeine that you get in the morning. And then there's a West Coast call as well. So if you don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. on the East Coast, but want to listen to something motivational, you wake up at 7:55 in the morning and listen to the 5 a.m. LA call, which is great. All right, video marketing. So there's a bunch of different videos I use. Obviously, the best professional videographer that I work with is 7 Train Media. Rob Hayes is not only my friend and my colleague, but he collaborates with me and he gets what I want, and it's never a power struggle. We work really well together, and the team is just incredible about producing the final product and getting the product to me so I can get it out, to all of my different outlets. If you're not doing professional videos or you're doing other things, there's a thing called BombBomb. BombBomb is great. We can talk about that more, but it's basically, if I send you a video text, I know if you open that or not. If I send it to you on email, I know if you opened it or not. It's really, really a good thing and a great product. Need a little water. Other things, do neighborhood videos. If you go to a different restaurant, pizzeria, and you become friends with the owner, say to him, hey man, can we sit down for 1 minute? I'll interview you, we'll talk about your sausage pizza, and then have a bite each. That is cross-marketing. You are the neighborhood expert. It is extremely important. Talk about your life and your previous careers. I can guarantee that 99% of us were not selling real estate at 18. So if you were a soccer mom for 20 years, talk about soccer. If you were a mechanic, talk about cars. If you were an electrician, talk about electricity. People love to know your backstory. Talk about the market. Is it up? Is it down? Mortgage rates. What's going on? What's the absorption rate? What's the inventory rate? Be an expert. Do Instagram Live. Do Instagram TV. I am telling you, those things people watch. Instagram TV is unbelievable. I've gotten tons of business on that lately. I will tell you this, that about 4 months ago, so every single day I take a photo on Instagram, not of my face, but of my tie, my suit, and my pocket square. My 7-year-old daughter picks out my suit every night the night before. I take a photo of this every day. I got a call about 4 months ago from a guy in LA, and he said, you know what, Paul? You don't know me, I don't know you. I love your style, I love your content on Instagram. I do not like my current broker. I want you to sell my apartment. 101 West 79th Street, I sold it in 6 weeks because of my suits, because of Instagram. If you are not on Instagram and not on Instagram TV, you are losing money and you are losing business. Interview small business owners. Again, if you go to the same place where you get your nails done or your pedigrees, become friends with that owner and have them do an interview with you. It's a lot of fun and it really gets interest. So those are really important things. So those are 3 categories. The 4th category is 20 ways to generate business. I'm going to have one more sip of water and then we're going to keep going. Number 1, join a charity. Don't join a charity because you want business. Join a charity because you believe in the charity. And basically you're sending emails from your business email address. Eventually, 3 or 4 or 6 months into it, somebody on that charity board is going to say to you, hey Paul, you sell real estate? Oh my God, where do you work? Oh my God, where do what do you focus on? And you just never know. We are farmers. Every day we plant seeds. Some plants die, some plants grow and just give us one piece of fruit, and some plants give us fruit forever. Think about it. We are farmers. When I go to the gym every single day at the same time, about 8 or 9 years ago, there used to be 10 different women that were called the Spin Sisters, and every day they spun. And one day one of them walked up to me and said, "Paul, would you like to be a spin sister?" And I'm like, "Of course I want to be a spin sister." Subsequently, I sold 8 of their 10 apartments for about $50 or $60 million in total sales. Go to the gym at the same time, become that neighborhood expert, become that person that's always there. If you're doing open houses, do not sit up in the apartment. Sit down in the lobby, be dressed professionally, have your good show sheets. What's gonna happen is somebody that's nosy is gonna walk by and say, "Hey, what are you selling?" "Oh, I'm selling 7B. Take a look at it." "You wanna come and take a look at it?" "Sure." They go upstairs, they're like, "After the open house, can you come and take a look at my apartment? I may wanna sell." Another great way of generating leads. Go to different Douglas Elliman offices. I go to about 10 or 11 per year. It is part of my business plan. I go, I share what I do, exactly what I'm doing here, and I don't ask for anything, but I am the expert in New York City. I am the New York guy in New York City. My team is the New York team in New York City. So you guys will know, and they know in the other offices, that if they need help, they contact Paul Zweben of the Zweben team at Douglas Elliman. Customer parties. So about a month ago, my wife and I were at an event upstate at a farm. It was beautiful. It's called the Sylvia Center. And the next morning, we were in our country home. My wife was in the restroom and she said, "Honey, last night, did we buy a pig?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "I thought so." So we now have a 115-pound pig that we are going to, well, I'm not going to do it, but we're going to slaughter it or have it slaughtered early September. And we're going to do this huge barbecue upstate New York with tents and a DJ, and it's going to be awesome. Do great customer parties. Do them. Invite other brokers from outside of your area, but spend the money, have it quality, because it's all about quality. You don't need to say, "Oh my God, thank you for coming to this Zweben barbecue. We're your go-to brokers." You don't need that, because what's going to happen is people at the party are going to be like, "Oh, how do you know Paul and Carolyn?" "Oh, they sold my apartment. They helped me buy an apartment. They're amazing." That's what it's all about. Be on Facebook and be active. Every single day Facebook tells you whose birthday it is. If you don't reach out to those people on their birthdays, you're dumb. Sorry. Interact. Be active on Instagram. Extremely important. Social media. It's about being social. Monthly consistent newsletters. You must produce content. If you do not know how to do it, hire a 20-year-old kid and they will do it for you. Our newsletter goes to about 6,000 or 7,000 people every single month, pretty much in the middle of the month. It's one of our featured listings, one recipe that I create, and either a bottle of beer or a bottle of wine. We have a 37% open rate, which is incredible. Most newsletters are open about 17%. So be consistent, and by doing that, you are touching people 12 times a year without being in their face. It's all about being there, being at top of mind, but not being in people's faces. Mail surrounding buildings. So when you get a new listing, send out a flyer, with a nice flyer, to the 4 different buildings surrounding that particular building and saying, "Hey, this is a brand new listing. Come to one of our open houses this coming week." It's all about staying on top of mind. Have a customer relations management system, a CRM. Emails, text, phone calls. You have to constantly be reaching out to your current clients and your past clients. If you don't, one day you're going to be walking down the street, you're going to see a past client, they're going to be like, "Oh my God, Paul, I just sold my house with another broker." And you know what you feel like? You feel like somebody just kicked your stomach and you want to vomit. Stay in touch with past clients and current clients. Send interesting articles. If I see an interesting article about the Fed's lowering rates, I'll text that article to 150 people in 5 minutes. Do it. You have to do it. If you were home staring at your computer or in the office staring at your computer, you're losing business. I'm telling you. Engage on social media. We went over that. Go to new development parties. I remember for a long time I didn't want to go there. I'm like, why would I want to go to a new development party? This is the reason. You're walking down the street with a client. You walk by 15 Central Park West, which now is a 10-year-old building. And they say, "Oh, when was that building built?" You know all the answers. You have to be the expert, because I'm telling you, your customers have more information at their fingertips without you. Show them what you got. Be active in your house of worship. Don't go to shul or don't go to church and try to get business. Just be active. The business will come later. I want to talk about a Facebook story very quickly. So about a year and a half ago, I got a direct message from a contractor in New York City. His name was Lee. And he said, hey, Paul, I have a $10 million buyer. Do you want him? And I'm like, oh my God, first of all, let me find out who exactly Lee is and go on from there. Fast forward a year and a half later, about 2 months ago, we closed at 15 Central Park West, 3-bedroom, 3-bath for $9.35 million. And that was a Facebook lead. If you're not on Facebook, you're losing money. If you're not on Instagram, you're losing money. Kids' parties. If you have children, exploit them. I am telling you, spend the money on a party and always have an open bar, because as the kids get older, they're drop-off parties. If you say to a parent, there is an open bar at our party, they will stay. By their second or third drink, they are talking real estate. We don't even have to bring it up. Same thing with broker events. You have a brand new listing, have a videographer come, invite 100 brokers, and every time there's a bunch of different groups that are in the restroom or in the kitchen or in the living room or the dining room, have that videographer pull up, exciting parts of that and then chop it up for great Instagram stories. 2 other things that are important, FSBOs and expireds. So in New York City, there's a system called Vulcan 7, which basically emails you and tells you what for sale by owners just came up and what expires. Not sure what systems you use in your different parts of the country, but I am telling you, it is a way, if you have thick skin, to call people and email and text them and hopefully get meetings. If you can get 1 meeting, you're probably going to get that listing. I promise. The last 2 things I will say that are extremely important about generating leads. One is, even if you're coming out of the gym and you're completely soaked, look presentable. I didn't wear suits and ties until I was 42 years old. Literally, when I don't have a suit and tie on and I walk down the street, people are like, Paul, are you okay? Always be professionally dressed. You are in a high-end market. You are selling $1 million apartments, some less, some more. You got to be the professional at all times. And finally, which is incredibly important, no matter what's going on in your life, be happy and be positive. If you guys have any questions, there's a bunch of different ways you can reach me. You can DM me on Facebook. You can DM me on Twitter. You can DM me on Instagram. You can call me at 917-860-1462. Again, 917-860-1462. Or you can email me at pzweben@element.com. This is how I am every day. I love sharing, and I hope you got a lot out of this. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you.